Hey, what's going on? So it's Monday, and yeah, I try to at least do a Monday video. I was vacillating on doing one today, but I decided to go ahead. There's plenty to talk about, but I'm not always in the mood. Right away, Greg Siegel sent me his latest CD. I've only just sampled it, so I can't review it yet, but I will show it to let you know, Greg, I received this. Paul Green and Greg Siegel, Symbols and Sounds. First impression is good. There's poetry involved, but they're interacting pretty strongly. And so my first impression is good. A while back, I showed a 12-inch single by Peace Orchestra and got a comment that someone said, well, you really should get the whole thing. Well, it turns out I already have it. I have a lot of stuff. I mean, the house doesn't look like a hoarder's house, but every room, pretty much, except for the bathroom, has records and CDs in it. So yeah, I thought I might have this when someone said, well, you should hear the whole thing. And I do, I have it. Something else that I pulled randomly to go to sleep by, and it kept waking me up because it was good, is Tosca. I'd forgotten about this. Tosca. Suzuki in dub. Is this the Kruder and Dorfmeister people by chance? Maybe some sort of connection, possibly. But this went down real well the other night. So, I talk about folks when they pass. We've lost some more people. Dennis Edwards of the Temptations. The few Temptations albums I have that I'm keeping are not accessible. I have some others that are for sale. I don't know if he's in the band at that time. Always loved Dennis Edwards' voice. Part of my history is when I was in junior high school, I had my best buddies. We had a dancing group, and we would do the Temptations, and we would imitate their steps and everything, and we were in talent shows, and we did pretty good. So the Temptations are a big part of my life. Love their music. Love Dennis Edwards' voice. Another major player behind the scenes who's played with everyone, who you won't know maybe, is Leon Ndugu Chancellor. He was a drummer who's played with literally everyone. He first came to my attention playing percussion and drums with Herbie Hancock's band Mwandishi. Now, I'd heard of Herbie Hancock as a child because of jazz. Growing up, my dad was a jazz musician, and heard Watermelon Man. But when the kids my age, my older brother, when they turned on to this, and I heard my brother listening to it, and I said, what is that? I was struck. That was it. And Leon Ndugu Chancellor plays drums and percussion on this fantastic album. He's played on hundreds of records. I just have a few here. I didn't pull everything I'm on. He's on a bunch of Santana records. I don't have those. But he's on this Alfonso Johnson Moon Shadows album. Fantastic fusion, progressive rock album. This is both. It's both jazz, funk, and progressive rock. Alfonso Johnson was or is a huge Genesis fan, and you can hear it in his music. And Leon Ndugu Chancellor was on this. He played drums on this. Michael Howell, guitar player. This is a slow burner. Real nice. Leon's on this album. This is a fantastic album. Love by Julian Priester, Pepo and Toto. They were in Herbie Hancock's band together. This is just a prime piece of space funk on ECM. This is just amazing. It's very repetitious, very hypnotic, very fantastic. Leon's also on Azar Lawrence's Bridge into the New Age. Saxophone player, great jazz. Excellent. The other person that I know Leon Ndugu Chancellor for mainly is George Duke, who I love. So his drum sound also at this time was real noticeable. He had a real rubbery tom-tom sound, which at times kind of bugged me. But I always knew it was Leon Chancellor because of that sound. But also he had a real distinct feel on the groove. Didn't take long for me to tell that it was Leon Chancellor playing drums. He could groove. The Aura Will Prevail by George Duke. I Love the Blues, The Herd McCry. And you've all heard Leon Chancellor because he plays drums on Michael Jackson's Thriller, okay? Drums and percussion. Yeah, I got a copy of this. Rest in peace, Leon Ndugu Chancellor. Going to keep it short today. There's a lot to catch up about, lots to talk about. I watched some videos in the last couple of days. I can't recall whose I watched. I left a couple comments. You people have some amazing collections. They just make me drool. I want all that psychedelia, all that prog. That's what I like. Someone asked me, do I know about the wild magnolias and the chupitulas and all that? Yes, I'm familiar with that stuff, and I do recognize it. I'm not... When I hear that music live with people, I engage in it. Music for me in my home is an escape. It is. It's a place where I set up my own space to live in. And a lot of roots music I don't want to hear. I kind of want to get away from, I'm going to say it, the grimy people who, I love people, but the masses, the music of the masses just reminds me of so much of the dumb shit of the world. And it does. And so I'm a lot of times creating my own milieu with the music, which is why it's not important to me to be listening to black music or music by black people. I listen to whatever I want, okay? Which brings up Black History Month. It's February. You guys know who've been following me know that I have disdain for the idea that, number one, our country would kill Martin Luther King and then give him a holiday as though that's going to make up for it, and then give us Black History Month the same month as his birthday, which happens to be the shortest month of the year. And at this point, the old colonial idea of white America is so dead that the idea that one month of history for black people is not our history is history. It should be every month, okay? That's where I'm at about it, okay? Music is the healer. The hell with all this Russia stuff and leaks and, oh, God, Republicans and Democrats. How insane. And that's all that we hear about. It's broken, and yet that's all we hear about. And no solutions are coming. Everything is going to keep getting worse. You know it, people. You know it. And we have to listen to this bullshit as though something is going to be fixed. Nothing's going to be fixed. People are making money. People are living high on the hog. And that's all that's going on. Okay. That's why I'm back to the music.